So at the end of this booklet and at the end of the last one, I'm going to have you take a little quiz. I do this every time we meet. The 20 must-answer questions toward investor peace of mind. Talk about peace of mind on lots of different issues. This is lots of different realms. This is peace of mind with respect to investing. I don't suppose any of you will lay your heads down on your pillow at night and say, I've got more money, and say, wow, that gives me such peace of mind in full or in total. However, I do believe that what you understand about investing contributes to a little better night's sleep, and there's a place for that. And so I want to help you with that. These 20 questions, there's only one rule as you take my quiz. You can't check yes unless you can say 100% total yes, got this, I know it, I could explain it to you. Okay, otherwise check no or leave it blank. But unless you're a 100% emphatic yes, don't check yes. That's where we're going. My contention is if you're with me for 10 years, you're going to have 18, 19, 20 yeses out of 20. That's what I want. Question 1. Have you discovered your purpose for money, that which is more important than money itself? It's question number 1 for lots of reasons. I have lots of clients. I've got lots of clients that have lots of money, and I have lots of clients that have less than that. And I do not see a happiness quotient along that same continuum. I've got lots of clients with lots of money who are less happy than lots of clients that don't have as much money who are more happy. I have lots of clients who don't have a lot of money who are unhappy. And it just doesn't seem like it has much to do with how much money they have. So what's your purpose for money? Because with $1, you can potentially fulfill your purpose if you know what it is, but with $1 million, if you don't know what it is, you've got no idea. So what is your money for? That's a good question, and I think you're not going to be a successful investor unless you know. So I want you to know, and I'll be doing a seminar on this topic in time. I haven't done one yet, but if you want to talk through that, I'd be glad to talk through that. I have a purpose for money. I'd be glad to share it with you. Question 2, are you invested in the market? If you own a 401k, mutual fund, or if you have a Roth IRA, you probably are. You can probably write yes to this. Question 3, do you know how markets work? Do you know how markets work to set prices? This is where you're getting into supply and demand. Question 4, have you defined your investment philosophy? So there are 2 when it comes to investing. Either free markets work to set prices, or mispricings exist and we can capitalize on those mispricings. Now, if you believe you know what your price or what your market strategy is, your investment philosophy is, free markets work or they don't work, you can answer yes. Whether or not you agree with me and you know your philosophy, you can answer yes. Question 5, have you identified your personal risk tolerance? We call it the crash test around here. If the market was going to crash, like one of the big ones, what could you handle right now? Can you handle 5% decline? Can you handle 15% decline, 25% decline? What can you handle? Because you can't have more gain than the risk you can live with. Because once you make that panic choice, now you don't know what you're going to get. Question 6, do you know how to measure diversification in your portfolio? Do you know how to measure how diversified you are? Talking about correlation there. Question 7, do you consistently and predictably achieve market returns? And if you don't know what the market returned, then you have nothing to compare your current returns to. So you want to know how to evaluate your own performance and how to evaluate your investments. Question 8, have you measured the total amount of commissions and costs inside your portfolio? Do you know how much you're paying? Question 9, do you know where you fall on the Harry Markowitz efficient frontier? And can you improve upon that placement? Incidentally, one of the things that we do for folks as they become clients, step 2 or 3, is we evaluate their current set of funds, and we place their current fund list on that frontier. So if there's a place where you could pick up more return or decrease your risk and keep the same return, we want you to know that there's a way to do that. Because if you can get the same return for less volatility, that's just better. Question 10, when it comes to building your investment portfolio, do you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it? I don't ask that tongue-in-cheek. I really agree with Dave Ramsey on this one. Don't invest in something you don't understand. That's why we do these. You're not going to understand investing perfectly when you leave here tonight, but there are a couple more steps in the process if you're wanting to become a client, and you will understand will be a point before you really pull the trigger that you'll say, you know what, I get this. This makes sense. Now, you're going to be able to explain it to someone, maybe not yet, but I want my clients to be able to say, yeah, I know what we're doing. I know why we're doing it. This makes sense. Question 11, are you working with a financial coach versus a financial planner? Financial planning, I like a lot of financial planners out there. And so I don't think the entire industry is full of bad people, but I do think the financial planning as an industry is set up to sell you products, not achieve your goals, right? I'd rather help you achieve your goals using the best of the market and what it has to offer. And the whole financial planning industry, it seems to try to sell you a lot of products. I often say with a good Dave Ramsey book and a good investment account, you can go a very, very long way. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need some insurance and some good advice about that. Doesn't mean you don't need some a good attorney at times for a will or a trust or a business model plan. But, a good investment account and good advice and a coach, I think, is probably primary. I often tell people, they say, are you a financial planner? I say, sure. I'm not sure what you think about that, but I'd rather coach you to help you achieve your goals rather than the current financial planning system, if that makes sense. So question 12, do you have a customized lifelong game plan to guide all of your spending and investing decisions? Do you know what you're doing with the cash flow? 13, do you have an investment policy statement that would direct me as to how to act in up and down markets? It tells me how to manage your assets, and so that you know what I'll be doing in certain different scenarios. Number 14, have you devised a clear-cut method for measuring the success or failure of your portfolio? Number 15, do you fully understand the implications and applications of diversification in your portfolio? We talk about diversification a lot, and this year is a good reminder for me that a lot of people aren't all that excited about diversification this year. It's not, especially when the S&P 500 is that one that's doing better, because it's, everything else they own in their 401k is usually large companies. That's usually all that's offered in that platform. And so our funds are a little lower than their other ones are. And diversification, we still have to promote the benefits of it, because with a lack of it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be far less off. 16, do you have a system to measure portfolio volatility? And I'll often say, can you put a number on it? Do you know what your standard deviation of risk is? 17, are you aware of the costs associated with purchasing commission-based products? I'm speaking mostly about annuities here. I'm not a big fan of annuities. For many folks who own them, we generally won't try to get you out of them too quickly because there are fees to get out of them. But sometimes those fees make sense to pay. But I sometimes think with annuities, if the buyer of the annuity, if the customer knew one piece of information about the annuity before they bought it, probably half of the annuities wouldn't be sold, and that is, how much is the person selling this to me making? Changes none of the other promises made. All they need to know is how much the person selling the annuity is making. Sometimes it's 6, 7, 8%. There's folks that are retiring from management at GM with $1 million and they get sold an annuity. $80,000, $90,000 paycheck for one sale for an annuity salesperson. They do 10 of those a year, millionaire. 10 sales. That's helpful information to have. Money's coming from somewhere, right? Pardon?
As a salesperson, I kind of love that.
The fact that, that's still happening. But again, let's be transparent. I want to make a fair wage as well, but I want my clients to know exactly how much that is. Question 18, do you know the three warning signs that you may be speculating with your money versus prudently investing it? And before you check, no. Stock picking, market timing, track record investing. You just learned them tonight, so I'm going to make sure you get a yes to that one. Those are the 3 warning signs. And if, like me, that's one of the 4 yeses you got the first time you took the test, I want you to get it. Number 19, can you identify the cultural messages and personal mindsets about money that destroy your investing peace of mind and your peace of mind? Number 20, are you ready to shift your personal experience of money and investing from a scarcity mode to an abundance mode tonight? And that's where I'd like to bring you to the little card here. Liz, I don't know if you have one in front of you. I don't know if I took one. You all have a card in front of you, and we'll end with this. Just take that and fill it out. And if you've met with me in the past, fill it out anyway. Just a good record that you're here. We don't sell information, and we're not going to hound you about this. We're very, very low pressure. But I would like you to fill out your name and address. Use a phone number that we can actually reach you on, like a cell number or something, not a like a message center and an email. And then if you've not met with me before, mark yes, the top box. I'd like to talk with you, and if you say yes and then put that in the basket, Liz will hand you an investor awareness guide. Do you have those? Great. Take that home. It's got my beautiful picture on it with my brother, who is partners with me here. And you can read through that, and this will get you a 30, 45-minute phone call with me. No obligation, no cost to that phone call, but it's a good, we call it the investor inventory. It's a time where you can ask me questions. I'd like to ask you some questions and just determine if there's a fit to take another step or do an analysis. Some of you have some investments all in one place. Some of you have them in 6 or 7 different places, and you just want to try to get a handle on that. Check that. If you're a client already and we haven't met in a little while, on the aggregate, accounts are still up. If this is a good time for you to do some rebalancing to the more conservative, that may be a good thing to do. We're doing another one of these events then in January as well for you as clients. We do these every quarter, and you are welcome to come. You could just say, hey, I'm interested in coming. Check that last box. And I didn't have the college one on here, but if you have college kids that you would like to promote to come to this, just write college kids on the notes lines, and Liz will connect with you and just try to make sure we get an email of somebody that you're going to pass it along, or we're going to send an email to someone and invite them, a young person that you'd like to have come. And that's what I have. So if Charlie's still here, he can turn some music back up and we can collect your stuff, and I'd be glad to stick around as long as people are here and talk. Very glad you came out. It's an honor that so many of you would come and listen and learn, and it's to your benefit to know more and to do this better, to be more disciplined over time, and certainly is to mine to know that my business is my business just grew in value today, and that would have happened whether or not the market went up or down, because when you know more or are better equipped to handle the market, then it is more valuable, and the market is going to go up eventually, and we'll be better able to handle it as a result of this. So thanks for coming out. Glad you came.